All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to our next topic here, shall we? Paris, what do we got up next?
All right. Well, the Russo brothers have directed some of the most beloved and successful Marvel films in history, including Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and of course, Endgame. The brothers have recently expressed interest in returning to the MCU, but according to The Hollywood Reporter, Jeff Snyder, Marvel has rejected them.
Ow.
Ouch. Yes, Snyder says the Russos wanted to direct Avengers 5, which still has no director, but Marvel said no. Snyder said he thinks this could be down to budget, citing how deep the Russo budgets have gone in recent movies. So, John, if this report is true, what do you think about Marvel turning down a Russo's brothers' return to the MCU?
Again, in the voice of Vincini, inconceivable. Again, you think about it. The Russo brothers, who I adore, Joe and Anthony have always been really great to us around here. Civil War, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Endgame, right? Now, granted, those movies were built on all the work that came before. Like, it's not like Infinity War, Endgame happened in a vacuum. That was the culmination of like over a decade and 20-something films building up to it and all that kind of stuff. But seriously, when you look back, it's hard not to say that at minimum, all four of the Russo brother films are probably in the top 8 of the best Marvel films ever done. And I want to go over to IRM Online, who was quoting this thing. Snyder, of course, our good friend Jeff Snyder is reporting this. Snyder also had some surprising news about the Russo brothers. The directors of Marvel's most successful Avengers movies were apparently rejected for Avengers 5. Snyder says that the Russos wanted to direct Avengers 5, but because of their budgets and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so, and everything that Paris said. As inconceivable as it is, I also kind of get it. Now, don't get me wrong. If Kevin Feige were to call me up this afternoon, as he often does, if Kevin Feige were to call me up this afternoon and said, what do you think, John? Would you like to see the Russo brothers directing an Avengers film again? I would say yes. I mean, I'm not saying at the expense of, let's say, if Steven Spielberg wanted to direct one, but yes, in general, I would like to see them direct another Avengers film. I've loved their films so far that they've done in the MCU. But John, then why would you say you kind of get it? Well, there's 2 reasons I would get it if this report is true. If Jeff is right about this, and let's be fair, as good of friends as we are with Jeff, he's not always right? Often is, not always, but let's assume for a second that he is right here. The one thing that the article mentioned and that Jeff mentioned himself was their budgets on their recent projects almost consistently always spiral out of control. That's number one. That they have been incapable, both as producers and directors lately, to keep their projects, according to reports, within their projected budgets. And the costs spiral out of control. That is not something that Disney likes. And the second thing, and this is the one I hate saying because, again, I love Joe and Anthony. They're fabulous, and I would like to see them back. But I honestly have not liked a single one of their projects as directors or producers since they left Marvel. I'm just going to say it. We've had 4 or 5 of them, and I'm just being honest. I love these guys. I love the work they do in the MCU. I think they're awesome, and I cheer for them every time. But if I'm being honest, I have not liked a single project they've done yet. Even projects that they've done as producers and directors, whatever, like with Chadwick Boseman. What was the one called 21 Bridges?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, awful film. Then they
And
did
what a
the one.
shame.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then the one they did with Tom Holland. Awful film.
Cherry? Was that
Cherry? Yeah. Had a lot of potential. I really haven't liked their other stuff they've done too. And so if you're Marvel and you know your next Avengers films have to knock it out of the park, again, if Kevin Feige asks me, I'd say roll the dice on the Russo brothers. But I understand why they would say no when they look at the overall quality of work that's happened since Marvel and the fact that a lot of that work has been with budgets that spun out of control. I can sort of get them going, not the direction we want to go in. And again, it sounds inconceivable the notion that it's always just been assumed if the Russo brothers would be willing to come back, you take the Russo brothers back. I get it. I've kind of thought that way too. But if this story is true, I kind of get it. I don't know. Are they making a mistake?
I feel like the disrespect. I feel like, the Russo brothers have had successful film with Marvel.
With Marvel, right.
Yeah, I agree with you that their films outside of Marvel haven't been the best. But I just feel like this is a gamble, because if it's not the Russo brothers, who will it be? But
here's the other gamble. This is the other gamble, right? Here it is. Because now Kevin Feige's head is in a noose. Because now with this coming out, if it's true, and who knows, maybe Kevin Feige comes out and says, no, that's not true. Me and the Russos haven't talked at all. But let's say it's true. Now that this has come out, that the Russos wanted to come back, if the next Avengers film comes out and it's great, all will be forgotten. But if the next Avengers film comes out and it's Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania level quality, everybody will be polishing up their pointing finger and pointing says, you could have had the Russo brothers. How stupid are you, Kevin? Again, if the movie comes out and it's great, we're all just going to forget about this. But if that next Avengers movie now comes out and it's bad, it's like all the teams that passed on drafting Tom Brady when he went dead last in the draft. But seriously, if the next Avengers film comes out and it is subpar, that's all Kevin Feige's going to hear about. That's just made the list. You just made the list. It's going to be the thing that everybody will point to and everybody will talk about and say, what you could have had the Russo. You could have had the guys who did Winter Soldier. You could have had the guys who did Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame. That's all anybody will talk about. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's unfair, but it's the fact. That's what everybody will point at.
It is unfair because you still don't know, just because you had the Russo brothers that didn't guarantee that into that alternate universe that succeeded too.
Yeah, we'll never know, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe if they did get the Russo brothers, maybe worse. The movie would have turned out even worse. We'll never know. But I mean, to Paris's point, there they are. Now, the respect issue. I mean, there's a big thing of respect there. But I mean, look, at the same time, the Russo brothers got to do an Avengers film because they moved on from the previous Avengers director. And maybe Kevin Feige's looking at it and going, you know what? It's time for the new era of Avengers films. Maybe yes, maybe no. I just know this. The noose is now around their neck. This is going to follow them around like a bad rash. Like herpes coming back from Vegas. This is going to be there to haunt them if the next Avengers film isn't good. And who knows? We'll see. We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. You know, guys, it's one of the most unfortunate human tendencies that we have to try to compare our life to others. And social media plays a big part of that. Comparison is like the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives because on the surface, it might look like they have it all together on their Instagram or YouTube, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? According to Jeff Schneider, who we like a lot around here, the Marvel has turned down an offer by the Russo brothers to come back and direct the next Avengers films. Maybe it's bold and visionary, or maybe it's a huge mistake. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.